Integromat is my favorite automation tool, but when you start using it, it can be hard to make it work properly. In this video, I will show you how to fix common scenario mistakes with the flow control modules, and more specifically the array aggregator, the router, and the iterator. Okay, so the first example I want to show you is when you use often an API with several arrays. So as you can see here, the problem is that uh, instead of getting the 10 results we have in the array, we're only getting the first one. And so to fix this, we need to use an iterator, which is going to allow us to have, well, the 10 results of the array into our Airtable module. So what I'm doing then is instead of directly retrieving the results from the HTTP module, I'm going to retrieve the results from the iterator instead. And then I'm going to run the scenario again, and let's see what we get. Okay, so as you can see now, instead of getting one result, so the first one, we are getting the results from all the bundles. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind when you're using the iterator module is to choose the right array. So as you can see here, we have the array article and it's working as intended. But what happens if instead of choosing this one, we just simply choose the data array? Let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so here, as you can see, well, we are getting, it seems that we are getting, well, the same results as before. But then when we go into a module, what happens is that, as you can see, well, the information that was available before, so the title, the description, the source name, etc., is not available anymore. And this is because we just didn't choose the right array. So this is something you have to keep in mind when you're using the iterator, is to choose the right array. So here, the right array is not data, the right array is the articles. And one way to remember which array to choose is, well, you're looking for the array with the information you're after. So here it's this one. Now, the second thing I'm going to show you is what happens when you want to trigger a module, but you only want to trigger the module once, even though in your previous module you have several bundles, several operations. So let's go ahead and do it. So as you can see here, since I have, well, 7 records, I get 7 executions, and so I stopped the module before it ended. So here the problem is that I only want to get, well, only one execution. So here the module, the flow control module that can help us is the router module, because it's going to allow us to create 2 different branches for the scenario. So here I'm just going to recreate the scenario. So I'm going to get the last HTTP request in one separate branch, and then I'm going to get the pre-existing branch, so the branch with the first HTTP request in one separate branch. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now let's run it again and let's see what we're getting now. Okay, so now as you can see, the router has fixed the issue. So the first branch is running with the 10 operations, and then only the second API call is made, and it's only made once and not 10 times. Okay, so the other thing you can use a router for is to create, well, a filter, and so to have 2 different scenario branches depending on, well, the results of your first module. So here I have a checkbox, so it can either be true or false. And if I want to create two different scenarios depending on so whether it's true or false, all I have to do is to use a router and then create a filter. And so the first condition is going to be checkbox is true, and the second one is going to be checkbox if false. So this is a pretty simple thing, but this can unlock so many possibilities in Integromat when you know how to use it. So um, I think it's very important to know it when you start using Integromat. Okay, so now let's see what happens when you have module where you're getting several different results and you want to use those different results in another module. You can't. So here, as you can see, the bundle, so we're using Notion search object module and we are getting several results. And what I want to do is use the results from the different bundles, so bundle 1, 2, and 3, in the Google Doc module. So if I do it without any extra module, as you can see, I'm only getting back one result. So here, instead of using the iterator, what we want is to get all the results together. So I'm going to use an array aggregator. So let's go ahead and choose it. Okay. So here, what you have to choose is you have to choose well the field you want to aggregate, and in here it's going to be the properties and the properties value. And let's run it again and see what we get. So as you can see here now, instead of having the three different results in different bundles, I have the three different results in one single bundle, and now I can use those results in my Google Docs module. So the way it works to access the different arrays, I would say to access the different collections in the single array we have, what we need to do is to use, it's just what we need to do is to change the number of the arrays. For example, here, as you can see, I can go in there and change the number. So if I choose the second number, I will get the second collection of the array. Okay, so this is it. I hope that it was helpful. Before you leave, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And if you want to see more Integromat content, you can check out my Integromat playlist that is appearing somewhere on the screen.